Welcome back, and of course the book is titled A Journey of Love, Faith and Redemption from One and Only Detroit's Hometown Hero, KEM. I want to ask you this though, in the book you also, you talk a lot about your parents, the parental influence here. Let's talk about that. How much has that, how much was that instrumental in shaping the person that you've become?
It was paramount,
Uh-huh.
And I talk about in the book, the ups and downs of my relationship with my parents, with my father. Both my parents are college educated. We had, 2 cars in the garage, right down the street. Actually, you know what I'm saying. I went to Southfield High. I had every opportunity afforded to me that the things that I would want for my children, my parents provided for me. And and I went left. I was out in the streets doing the dance of addiction. There's a period of my life when I was homeless. I had the exact right parents that I was supposed to have. We didn't have a piano in the house. My parents, my dad was really big on education. The last thing that he wanted to see was me, trying to pursue a career in the music business, But he's happy about that now. You know what I'm saying? Right? But that resistance, even that resistance, and it was nothing but love coming from them wanting the best for their child. They understood, they came up in the, the 50s and the 60s, so they understood, the importance of being, an African American in this country, and the struggles and the challenges that identification brings. You know what I'm saying? So they just wanted the best for me. But I'm glad for all of that. Had my dad, had they put a piano in the house and said, you need to sit down and take these lessons, and you need to, and they have the stage parents, and you need to be on stage, and if they had been those type of parents, I may be doing something else today. So I had the exact right. I love my parents dearly, and they've been devoted to me.
Well, it's interesting you talk about your parents coming out of the civil rights movement, and there's always the debate that the inheritors of that movement, ought to be able to do more. I want to talk about your the role of the modern artist. You're very successful, but you're also an artist with a conscience. So it's not a question of it's not extreme commercial that you're in, or perhaps that's not just your concentration. You're an artist with a conscience. Talk about the importance of that though in this space. As black folk, should we be only looking to artists who are simply extremely all about how much records they can sell? Doesn't matter what the content is, but just trying to sell a record? Or should we be looking to perhaps artists with some sort of a conscience, with soul?
Well, I think that I can only speak for myself. Right? I mean, people like what they like.
That's true.
People wouldn't be, there's a lot of, artists who create more explicit material get a lot of flack, but you also have to understand that there's somebody buying that. There's somebody who's requesting that art. So I don't judge it, but for me, I am conscious about the moves that I make musically and outside of music, because of the life that I've lived and because of my experiences, I've been given and granted a lot of grace. So it is my responsibility to and it's a privilege, really, to be conscious of the homeless and of addiction and domestic violence and these other places in humanity and in the world that need help and need resources. Where I can, it's important for me to give back.
Right. And do you find yourself walking a lonely space in that context, or do you think that in fact we're in a period where we're seeing an increasing need for more artists who were tilted towards that? And I say that with the question of, LeBron James at the back of my mind in terms of what he's doing in the athletic field. But in the music field here, do you find people walking in the space that you're walking, where they're conscious? I mean, they have causes that they're interested in with the homeless. I mean, those who are economically, as we call it in politics, disenfranchised.
Oh, well, I'm sure that there are a number of my contemporaries who give back, and everybody's not talking about it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, right? The most important giving
not
is the
everybody's
giving
going
that
to do a press conference.
Right. You don't see all the giving that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know, there's the you coming out with the big check, and then there's the person in the grocery lines at Kroger that you're helping them with their groceries. You know, there's a lot of giving that takes place. That is behind the scenes. So you know, I know a lot of my contemporaries are always giving back.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the future of music, black music here. And for those who are looking and perhaps want to walk down the path that you have walked, let's talk about that. How do we build the next generation of KEMs?
That's a great question. Right? We'll have to work on that together. When I find out, I'll let you know.
But
right?
I think it's important because, look, we can have this conversation all we want, but if it's not been connected to the next generation, then there's really no substance to take to the next level.
I think it all starts with for me, it starts with what I'm putting out.
Yeah.
It starts with what I'm putting out.
Yeah.
You know, I am always operating from a place of trying to create something of excellence, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. You know, to the chagrin of a lot of the people who work with me. You know, I'm involved in every aspect of my business, particularly the music. So I think it starts there. You know, I have this thing that I always say that everything starts with the song. You know, and let the work do the work.
Right.
You know
so
what I'm
you're
saying?
involved in every aspect of your,
I have kids,
I'm hearing some Aretha Franklin in the background, but go ahead.
25, 30-year-olds. You know, I used to be offended. They would come up to me and say, you know, I grew up listening to you. Right. You know, but I've been doing this for 20 years. You know, so when they were 5 years old, they were sitting in the back seat and mom was listening to Love Calls, you know, or listening to I Can't Stop Loving You. And that music has affected them. You know, and they remember, they have a connection to that. So I think in the same way that, and I know I'm talking a lot, in the same way
that's why you're the guest, huh?
In the same way that great music has impacted me, my hope is that I'm creating great music that impacts the next generation to continue to carry it forward.
So let's talk about the question of I don't know if I would call it musical solitude or the musical muse. So as a writer, we have what we call the literary muse. You know, when I can be driving and writing a column in my head. Yeah. You know, I can just be done with a conversation right away. There's a column right there, and I'm writing it in my head. Wow. And I asked the question because I was listening to an interview that the great international jazz icon Hugh Masekela gave. He wrote this song called Bring Back Mandela. It became the anthem of the global anti-apartheid movement. Yeah. And he said he wrote the song after he got a letter. Nelson Mandela was in prison on Robben Island. And he sent a letter from Robben Island to Hugh Masekela for his 50th birthday. And he said, this guy is in prison and he's congratulated me. So he got up right away after reading the letter, went to his piano and started writing music. Right. So the question is, when do you write? Yeah, I mean, you know.
I never have those kind of experiences.
You don't have a musical muse.
I never. You know what? My muse has always been and is today my love for the keyboard, right? Okay. I've never had, on rare occasions.
Not like at 4 a.m. in the morning, at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Someone may call me and say they want a song for X, they need a song for an individual or a specific project, and then I'll have to create something for that. But usually, dude, it's really a spiritual dance for me to sit down at the keyboard and just sit there and play and hear things that I like, hear melodies that I like, and I get attached to, and the songs are formed. But the songs, the songs write themselves. You know, I'm intentional about what I'm doing, but there is a freedom, and there's a freedom, and there's an awareness of just, you know what, it's given to me. You know, it's given to me, and it's something that I don't take for granted. And my inspiration is usually always, for the most part, it's love. in its many forms and its many facets, because that is what connects us all. That is what pains us all. That is that is where all of our joy and all of our pain emanates from. Is from a longing to be loved.
The final question as we end this interview. So April 7th, you have an album coming out. Let's talk about that.
The live album.
Yes.
It's called Anniversary, and it's the live album. We recorded it here in Detroit at the Aretha in the fall of 2022, and you know, 20 years in the making. Yeah. You know, and to be able to my audiences have always asked for a live album, and I've never felt that I had arrived at the stature where, you know, well, I'm going to do a live album now. But 20 years in the game, I think we can call it having arrived at the point to where my fans deserve to have that live experience, to have the KEM live experience at their disposal. Anytime you want it, you can put this record on and get the KEM vibe, you know. And it's really, we have great musicians. It's a great production. There's a great selection of songs from the first album to the last album, and you know, it's
Okay.
We're really excited about it.
Final question. What's the reaction of your parents to the book?
That's a good question. We'll find out.
Wow.
We'll find out.
You can come back and tell us.
My parents' love is unconditional.
That's right. Look, thank you so much for being here. It's good to have you in studio.
Truly
yes,
a pleasure.
Yes. Well, the second time we're meeting.
Yeah, the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Look, this interview, I'm sitting here with, you know what I'm saying? Right? Ted Koppel or somebody who's I'm in here sweating. Somebody bring me some water.
Okay, right? This is feeling like Saturday Night Live right here. You can do better. This is not the Dave Chappelle show. It's been great talking to you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. All right, Detroit's hometown hero, KEM. We'll be right back with more on Sunday Nation. Congressman Haley Stevens is our guest next.